Welcome. This session is powered by Global Talent Solution, supported by leaders of all nations, Global Society for Female Entrepreneurs, Helping Hand Foundation, Explore London, Global International Alliance, Ladies of All Nation Global Foundation, RM Infinite, International Youth Society, and Dream Bigger.
Today's host is Dr. Jaya Sajnani. Guests are Marjanne Baker and Ambassador Mayul Ngumbao.
Enjoy the session.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today for our second session of the Pathway to Success, an SDG program. We are going to talk about today goal number 9, United Nations Building Tomorrow, Industry, Innovation, and Infrastructure. I am your host, Dr. Jaya Sajnani. I'm a founder of Global Talent Solution Hub, which is a non-profit organization with a vision to create a future where talent knows no boundaries. Yes, we believe that every individual, regardless of their background, circumstances, and races, should have access to the quality education, training, and opportunity to excel in the chosen field. We serve as a bridge between the education system and talent across the globe. We offer study abroad program, culture exchange program, student exchange program, and online speaking sessions like today, where students and professionals can engage with the industry expert around the globe. Before we start today's session, I would like to express my huge gratitude to our supporters. Without them, this project would not be possible. They are Professor Caroline Makaka, who is the founder of LOANI, Leaders of All Nation International, Lady Dr. Roby Motor, founder of GSFE, Global Society for Female Entrepreneur, Dr. Lenora Peterson, founder of GIA, Global International Alliances, USA, Dr. Randy D. Ward, who is a founder of Dream Bigger Institute and RM Infinite. Of course, we cannot forget Lily and Harry. They are founder of Speakers Are Leaders. Yes, so I would like to request all of you to be muted until we start our Q&A at the end. Now, as you are waiting for the moment is to start, today's session is here. Let's welcome Marjanne Baker. Let me tell you a few things about Marjanne. Marjanne Baker is a founder of SOAR and driving force behind STEM Africa 2014-24, a program in collaboration with the Life Academy and Stockholm University. She recently completed phase 2 of an ICT pedagogical change program in Sweden, training 28 participants from various continents as a change agents. Currently, she is established METS Africa 4D and implementing initiatives in Liberia, including STEM mobile labs, after-school STEM clubs, and teacher-student workshop. Wow, wonderful. Marjanne is a dedicated educator and project manager with extensive experience and accolade. So let's welcome to Marjanne Baker. Thank you, Marjanne.
Thank you so much for that beautiful, beautiful introduction. Appreciate that.
You are wonderful, Marjanne. Oh my God, when I was reading your bio, I had goosebumps. Wow, so many things you have been doing it, especially with the STEM, and it's not easy. People think about launching a clubs, workshops, and that's also different part of the countries. How do you achieve that even?
Well, we give God the graces first, and thanks for family who have been supporting this mission of mine. And it's been an incredible journey. I'm a teacher, always been. And when this world of opportunity opened up with the Swedish International Development Agency, it just opened up a world, a horizon that afforded me the opportunity to launch forward. And as ICT change agents, we were to design a STEAM project, an ICT pedagogical change project. And after researching the STEM, and specifically with Liberia, with the challenges we have as a post-war country, I thought it seemed quite relevant for Liberia. Wow. And since then, we've been pounding the pavement, networking with entities, public, private sectors in Liberia, in our sub-region, Ghana, Nigeria, and wow, whoever's willing to listen. So we've been making some headway, and we continue doing
Fantastic.
what we do best.
Wow, that must be very rewarding feeling, right? I can understand, because even doing the small platform like GTS we started, and I feel very rewarding, the emotions when we do this certain type of task. It takes a lot of time, energy. I don't know what time you sleep, because the whole country, you are working on the different country zones as well. I hope you have enough rest during that time.
Yes, we do try to find time for that. It can be a balancing act, but yes, I try to find the time. And we're always thankful for volunteers, partners, people who align with the vision of trying to bridge the gaps in the educational infrastructure here, because part of the challenge that we have with the Ministry of Education and the masses is the learning space here, because of the long years of war. So most of the infrastructures collapsed. Wow. Major infrastructures, particularly health, education. So the Ministry of Education in recent years, their major focus has really been on basic primary education for teachers, to groom teachers with basic primary education. So with reference to the STEAM program, it's really an enrichment program that is not offered to the masses. So with us doing a dip in the bucket from the private sector, this is the work that we've been doing. And it's rewarding, very rewarding, because the need is there. That's one thing. And then the support we get from those who align with our vision and mission.
Wow. So Marjanne, we have over 150 live viewers who's watching us today, and I'm sure they all are keen to understand that being an individual person, or being a student, being an entrepreneur, or even the corporate business person, how do they be a part of this bigger mission of United Nations, which is the goal number 9, industry infrastructure. So let's start your presentation, and I am very keen to understand and learn for where I stand and what is my role in that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. One of the things I would like to emphasize is this is the topic that I think is very needed in terms of industry, innovation, and infrastructure. So please, let's move to the next slide. In industry, I would say within the context of the public-private sector, the focus on innovation, infrastructure is crucial for developing a sustainable and economic growth scorecard, if you will. And the elements that can contribute, I think, to building this better tomorrow that we all look forward to. One is advancing manufacturing. And I would say to encourage the growth of higher tech industries, such as the robotics, biotechnology, and renewable energy. And let me just be specific. Robotics is one of the projects that we engage in with we're an after school enrichment program. We provide the relevant industry relevant skill sets of critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, effective communication skill sets. And we build it around a STEAM curriculum that we give to the participants, our program participants. And it's amazing what they do in terms of designing a prototype based on some of their own personal interests and desires and just their own genius, really. The renewable energy, we even have projects where we have them design a solar oven. So I'm saying that to say we use the materials that are relevant around us in terms of the manufacturing aspect. The skills development is to invest in education and training programs like what we strive to do, to equip a workforce with the relevant skill sets that are needed for the 21st century today. Research and development. Part of what we do is fostering a culture of innovation through research and development. If you can source grants and other incentives to grow your business. The next slide, please. With reference to innovation, the technology hubs, because this is to establish these innovative centers and technology maker spaces that can serve as incubation for startups, and also fostering collaboration, synergies between academia and industry leaders. I think we can do that in any country, any culture. The digital infrastructure is another one where to develop a robust digital infrastructure. That means to partner with whatever your 5G broadband, use whatever is available in terms of your country that will support the digital transformation across sectors. The other one is a regulatory framework, which is to create supportive regulatory environment that encourages experimenting and protects the intellectual property as well. So these are things that we can all continue to research and find out what is out there and how you can help to build your ecosystem or your audience that you cater to. The next slide, please. In terms of infrastructure, transportation, develop efficient and sustainable transportation networks to facilitate trade and connectivity. So energy, again, to invest in renewable energy projects like the solar, reduce dependency on fossil fuels and promote environmental sustainability. These are things that you can always customize with whatever is relevant within your ecosystem. The urban development, of course, building smart cities with efficient public services, affordable housing, and green spaces always improves the quality of life. The next slide, thank you. With reference to the public-private partnership approach, it's always important for shared investment for us to leverage private sector funding and expertise along public sector, the public resources. This helps to finance large-scale infrastructure projects. Risk sharing, of course, you can allocate risk appropriately between the private and public spaces for accountability and projects' sustainable success. In terms of the long-term sustainability, it's important to focus on projects that have long-term economic, social, and environmental benefits that creates lasting value. In the pictures here, you will see this one, the one in the middle is with one of our ministers of education, and the one on the far right is with the 28 plus ICT change agents that we continue to work with and foster synergies wherever that's possible, because these things will continue, they're lasting in terms of fostering synergies that can be sustainable and lasting. And the last two slides to the far left, this was at the one with the students there, this was at a school in Cambodia where it was a study visit, and we paid we paid visits to the school to foster relationships and partnerships. And this was the farthest left, that was a mini workshop with the advanced ICT agents from various countries across the globe. The next slide, please. And the question was, how has innovation in our work driven improvements in infrastructure? And again, we are a STEAM innovation out of school time enrichment program, and we are from the private sector. So our mission is to groom a new generation of innovators or inventors, or what we'd like to call STEAM professionals, by using the 21st century skill sets that are relevant for today's industry. We have a maker space at our STEAM Innovation Hub that is still at a phase 1. So we're always looking at the possibility of growing with partners that align with our vision and mission. We became a registered entity 2017, and we now have footprints across the country, Liberia, Ghana, and Nigeria to date. We have a strategic partner in Sierra Leone that we're still looking at growing that relationship. We have partnered with the Ministry of Education and the MCSS, which is a consolidation of 150 plus public schools, colleges, universities, and businesses. So that is what the work we're doing at this time. The next slide, please. We have partnered with the Pan-African Robotics Program, which is a competition. I believe they're in their 7th year, and they go from country to country across the continent. And this year they're in Senegal. And the program participants and partners like my organization, we take a group of STEAM ambassadors to participate in the competition. We were in Ghana 2 years ago, and this year it's going to be around autonomous farming. And they provide a challenge for the participants. This year is going to be, the autonomous farming is to boost farmers' productivity, reduce labor costs, and improve crop yield and quality. So currently the world is going through this phase of global food security, and some of the factors that are fueling that are in the advancement of autonomous farming and precision agriculture. So maintaining the theme of sustainable agriculture, the 2024 Park Engineers League, the participants will envision how to achieve a more sustainable agricultural future in Africa by implementing robotics. So this year's challenge is to build software to operate the Park Ag robot that will perform the following autonomous tasks, like precise navigation through a tomato field and determining the crop yield of the field by detecting the fruits on each tomato plant using computer vision. So each team per country is supposed to develop a challenge around this concept. The next slide, please. So currently, we do have teams that we're still working towards getting teams to participate in the 2024 Pan-African Robotics competition. And what we're doing right now is preparing for the second annual Pan-African STEAM Symposium, which is, the date is the 29th to the 31st. That's what I was sharing with you, with the hope that we can also raise the Lowani platform in terms of integrating with the work that Lowani is doing globally. So we hosted the first one in 2022. And as you can see there, we partnered with the African Methodist University, and students came from across the country, and 2 days was a symposium, and 1 day we exposed the students to a STEAM challenge around food security. They were to design a mobile app around food security. But this year, they're designing a mobile app around climate change. And currently, beginning next Saturday, we're going to have a series of live Zoom chats. And I would invite anyone who might be interested to join the conversation. It will be every Saturday around a specific theme relating to ICT and the role that Africa needs to play in these 21st century industries. The next slide, thank you. Okay, the PPP framework, as I mentioned earlier, by integrating industry, innovation, and infrastructure within a PPP framework, we can build a future that's resilient, inclusive, and sustainable. So this approach is not only drives economic growth, but enhances the overall quality of life for communities around the globe, and specifically here on the continent. Next slide, thank you. So this was when we participated with the Pan-African Robotics Competition as a group from Liberia, and we designed a robot to do specific tasks. Thank you. Next slide, please. So in conclusion, I would say, Africa has been left out of the scientific conversation. And I think the youth of today, they're ready for a new narrative. So in terms of science and innovation, foresight and policy. So we took a group of students to the next Einstein Forum in Kigali, where there were policymakers there, and the president of Rwanda and the president of Senegal. And they brought scientists from across the continent together, young scientists, to deliberate on what do we do in terms of benchmarking activities and an ongoing roadmap process for in closing the gaps in Africa's digital space. So we're just doing our little drip in the bucket with continuing these conversations that are very relevant for industries today, and especially across the continent. So I think that ends the presentation.
Yes, oh my God. Please. Oh, I mean, more than questions, I am very intrigued to understand that you've been involved in so many projects. And I completely agree with you, Marjanne, when you mention it, that yes, Africa has been seen always differently and excluded from when it comes to the innovation, it comes to the integration of the social norms, or you can talk about like IT, technology, infrastructure. The whole world never seen Africa as in the light that those youth, instead of just struggling for the basic necessity of water and then safe environment and child labor, there are potential, there are so much talent in the youth of the Africa and never been touched. And your projects are amazing. I mean, I was thrilled to see that how much you have been doing it with the whole organization since 2017. That's a long history you have created. And yes, you have touched upon some that creating incubator programs, critical thinking, digital infrastructure for the governmental, societal way. I would like to let my the audience know about it, that yes, today the session was covered all the basis of the how governmental or the bigger projects infrastructure can be done. However, you being an individual, you being an entrepreneur, you being a small organization run individual person as well, there is lots of room for the improvement and your support as well. For example, if I talk about GTS, Global Talent Solution, we are launching a entrepreneur seed incubator program, which is starting from 22nd of July in partnership with the Brent Youth of Brent Center. Now, of course, we wanted to plan a kind of a platform, as you know, that is a digital platform we have at the moment, but I wanted to create something, the workshop kind of it, where we have a 20 plus applications, and those young talent have the seed of the idea and they don't know how to transform this business idea into the viable business model. So if you are interested, please do come along. And this is a small part of the, I would say, the contribution as Global Talent Solution is doing towards the goal number 9, where we talk about the infrastructure and building the sustainable solution. Because we are in education industry, but if you are in retail or if you are in a different industry and you are just a startup business, I am sure there are many ways where you can sit back and think that yes, my first prime goal as a business is profit making, to earn money. However, is the earning money is it sustainable? Is that what exactly the goal for the business people is? Do you know, in the history of the business era, whenever the business was formed and the short or the small way a startup started, and as they grow, they reach to the phase of their entrepreneur journey where they feel that now it is their time to give it back to the society. And that's where these goals of the United Nations helps you to create the path so that they can guide you which direction you can go. Before we start this presentation, I had a very good conversation with Marjanne, and we completely agree that end of the day, we are the people who are the change maker. We are the people, we carry forward our responsibility of having that luxury of the greenery in our childhood. And now we are seeing that next generation is going to deprived of this goal, this sustainable resources. They are going to run out one day. And as the new generation, we see they are very talented. They are completely different breed. They as if are born intelligent. We have lots of technology around. Why can't we use this technology to support the sustainable goals for the future generation and support them to preserve these resources or create an, the way Marjan mentioned it, that the sustainable transportation system, solar, fossil fuel, building smart city, green city, and these are the things actually going to help you with the long-term sustainability of your own business. If you are a student, you are studying about something, think about once your education is going to finish. Do you think the jobs will be remain the same as it is today? Do you really think that there'll be a vacancy for anybody who can do at the moment? I mean, I was surprised that when I go to the bank, they are accepting checks via taking the picture and then upload it. The checks papers are demolishing from the world. So that means the people who are doing the clerical work, the job will not be available. The job, half of the job for the accountant or financial of the business people will be gone. And that's where it is the job which will create is the sustainable solution, or the how to work with the system, how to work with this amazing technology. And that is a new job role will be created. So in today's session, we have learned a lot about it, and I'm so thankful for Marjanne on our platform. Definitely, Marjanne, count Global Talent Solution in for any projects. I am more than happy to help you, support you, because remember, We don't compete. We complete each other. And that's what one of our supporter, Lady Dr. Robbie Motor, always says this, Global Society for the Female Entrepreneur. She has mentioned many times that we as a small organization, if we come together, collaborate, then we can serve bigger and wider community. You know, we are in today's world, all we can do is, instead of donating money, donating financing and supporting one individual with that, the limited amount of money which you have, why don't you come along and shake the hands together with the organization to organization, collaborative approach, and donate your time, donate your energy, donate your skills and expert knowledge which you carry. Every individual has that strength, like what Marjanne mentioned it, that this organization is very open for this collaboration. If you are one of the person who's listening and have that resources available and would like to make some difference to the community while being the individual, this is your opportunity to grab it. Don't forget to connect with her and drop a message to her on the Facebook while you are watching our live session, or even whenever you are listening us on the YouTube live recorded session as well. Please do connect with these kind of collaborative approach will help you to grow and support. One more thing what Marjanne has talked about was the public and private participation approach. And I completely agree with this. Many of the people are afraid of going to the privatization. But you know what? It's a balance. It's a balance which helps city or the country to run. And the similar way, it is the balance of these both strengths, what public industry or public governmental industry can bring it, and the private sector which can bring in. And how about we use both, the strength of both, and create the one project which helps the long-term sustainable. Another thing what Marjanne has talked about is the long-term sustainable goals. Yes, as a business, as we always learn in the entrepreneurship and the business, that you do create a short-term goals and the long-term goals. Short-term goals will help you to support you to sustain at this point of time, or maybe a near future for a month or a year. Long-term goals will help you to sustain for the 5 to 10 years of time. Those long-term goals should be, and this is what my experience of the business last 22 years and talking to industry experts is reflecting, that whenever you're creating your long-term goals, do incorporate this sustainable development goals from the United Nations. There are 17 goals in United Nations website. If you go, just pick one and think that you as an individual, you as a business person, you as a professor, or whichever field you are, how do you make this difference? How do you make the change in this whole sustainable world? And your small contribution can support to the wider and bigger community. So thank you so much, Marjanne. And now we are going to move on the questions which were predefined by our viewers. So very first question, I'm sure Marjanne has already touched it, but we're going to ask her again anyway, if she can reflect on more things about it, if she missed something. So our first question for today's session is, how has innovation in your industry, Marjanne, driven improvement in infrastructure? Would you share some examples, please?
Okay, I would say, for one, it has really opened up a wider conversation with the private and public sector, because these conversations are quite necessary. That's one way. And with our events that we have a series of events throughout the year, and we engage our community schools, we engage the private schools, we engage the what we would call our elite schools, so that that conversation can be across the board and not just what would you say, a one size fit all. because we have to address all different sides of the economic structure. If we're talking about sustainability. And for instance, we just had a conversation earlier before this meeting about the informal sector. The informal sector is a growing, and they are the masses. They also need access to the tools, that these 21st century tools, and their children need access. And we're talking about how creative the youth are. They have all this wealth of creative energy that needs to be channeled in a way that is productive, and effective. And this is what we try to do in this broader conversation with the various events that we continue to have throughout the year.
Wow. Yes. So certainly by talking about or even supporting those industry, as the Marjanne mentioned it, that yes, it helps in the bigger level, because it's like anything you do, the startups, right? It is not going to affect straight away, but that has a ripple effects. What the programs and the projects Marjanne community was involved or is still involved, it actually has now time to grow the ripple effect of this, because those projects, these Marjanne mentioned it, that they involve the schools and the colleges and the private and the public schools as well. Of course, it has a bigger improvement in the infrastructure, because one individual, if you empower one person, it tend to empower three more. And this is the way ripple effect works, which is fantastic. So our next question for today's session was asked, can you provide an example of recent project that showcase sustainable development in your sector? So I believe, Marjanne, your sector is the education sector. Is it fair to say training and education?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Okay.
Education and 21st century skill sets in a project-based teaching and learning setting.
Great.
That is what we do. And right now we have an event that is being unpacked, the Pan-African STEAM Symposium, where we're again bringing these different actors together, stakeholders together in a 3-day 2 days is dialogue, and 1 day is the different schools to design. First, there's a workshop training, and then to develop a challenge. They are challenged to develop a mobile app solution around climate change. So I believe so that answers that question.
Wow, yeah. So you said that second annual, it's a mobile app. It's the theme is creating a mobile app to help to climate change. Is that what second annual the program which is doing in 2024 symposium, right?
Yes, the theme for the event is how do we bridge the digital gap in the area of STEAM, which is specifically education. And then 2 days we engage stakeholders from different sectors, the public-private sector around this conversation. And then one day we address with the student population.
Yeah.
Where they
would you remind me the dates when this program is going to be executed or is happening?
Sure, August the 29th to the 31st. And I would like to invite you to be a part of the platform. We have starting next Saturday, we're going to have live talk shows around various themes of ICT and pedagogy. And I would like to invite you to one of those Saturday live talk shows.
Yeah, why not? Wonderful. And as I mentioned before as well, we are a non-profit organization, and this is our mission. And when you have something which is a mission, and we are very much mission driven, any opportunities comes to serve bigger community or wider community, definitely GTS and GTS team is up for it. So yes, drop a line or email, or even you have my WhatsApp number as well. Drop a line to me, and definitely I will try my best to be it's in Liberia, right?
Yes, it's
Symposium
going,
Studio.
the event is going to be in Liberia, but we will have a hybrid component.
Great, that would be really helpful because I try to put it less footprint on my airfare as well. But we will definitely, and with the help of IT, when you have this technology, right? Why can't we use it and support each other with a minimum cost and or impact on the environment as well? That was fantastic.
Thank you.
So the very last question, Marjanne, now we have, which is what role do you see emerging technology playing in the future of the industry growth? Wow, this is a very good question.
Okay. Emerging technology. I think emerging technology is really on the forefront of everything we do now. It's on the forefront of what we do. The AI, like I was sharing with you, the agricultural, the ag robot that the Pan-African Robotics Competition participants are going to be designing. It's on the forefront of everything that we do. So that's why I think it's necessary to start engaging these conversations and asking the hard questions of how do we close these gaps, particularly in with schools that may not have the type of funding, but we need to engage these conversations now and find solutions.
Yeah, that's even I agree, because this emerging technology is slow by slow taking over lots of job role, taking over lots of that place where it's more advanced. Now, for example, as I was shocked last year when I heard that now students are allowed to use Chat GPT as well. Now, again, in this way, once the technologies emerge, technology is technology, right? It is up to us to how to make a best out of it or the worst out of it. Now, the same technology can be used the positive and the negative. So if we empower people and educate people by telling them what is the best of this technology and how to use it, then the technology will give you the positive impact. So in the wider society, as you mentioned it, doing this workshop, letting people know, and the growth is it's really going on the fast pace. I mean, nowadays there's a robot for replacing the maids at home. The whole grooming and everything is happening with a small robot, and it's so economical, cheap as well, that even the medium class people, economic people as well can buy, so that the education is more and more becoming important now, because certain things which requires repetitive, or you can say which does not have a critical thinking involvement, these jobs are going to be replaced. So future of industrial growth is very, very important. So yeah, that's
Absolutely. One of the things I always hear is, and I know it's a reality, the students have access right at their fingertips more than their teachers many times. So what are you teaching a student if they have access to information that you, the teacher, don't have? So these are conversations that are critical, and they're hard conversations that need to be had, that we need to have. So
yeah,
that's what we're
definitely.
tackling in our little neck of the woods.
That's really, really agree. And as we are evolving, each and every sector, education sector also is a one of the part where we does need to evolvement. And when we talk about the third countries, where India, China, Africa, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, those countries actually require more education and more empowerment. Although they can, having the global market, they can access the technology very easily. But are those students understanding that how to use the technology for their betterment rather than the negative part. Instead of using the technology to hack someone's bank account, you can minimize your time and efforts by using this technology, doing the faster. There are lots of crimes are increasing because of that as well. Just because not that it's a technology which is incorrect. It's not that you shouldn't be going towards the technology. What we believe, it's because the education and empowerment is not as speed as the technology is evolving. And this is the reason we do need a platform like GTAs, like yourself, who come on the platform and talk about that. What's the best use of the technology and connecting back to the human nature of the original core of us. The intention and the support and helping each other is very, very important. Wow, today's session was so spiritual and fantastic. I really enjoyed it. We have still 259 live viewers who are watching our session, and I'm sure everyone has taken some part of the knowledge which Marjanne Baker has shared here on this platform, and I enjoyed definitely this today's session, so you do too. So don't forget, this is the end of the session. However, our conversation has not ended. The pathway to success, sustainable development goals are still there. So don't forget to attend our next session, and which is the next Thursday again, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. same UK time. And it will be live on digital as well. So please join and don't forget to register as well. Till that, please take care of yourself. And thank you so much for joining, and wonderful having Marjanne here.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to catch our next session live on 25th of July 2024.